Hi, everyone. Well, thanks for joining me for this next episode of Inspiring Our World. This conversation is about walking, summer walking, a fun way to better health. Summer means more daylight hours and warmer temperatures, which makes it a great season for walking outdoors. Walking is known to help release endorphins that elevate our mood and decrease stress levels. When done consistently and enough to increase heart rates, walking can even burn calories and help us lose weight. A heart-healthy exercise, walking is believed to lower the risk associated with high blood pressure, high LDL, bad cholesterol, stroke, and coronary heart disease. Depending on where you live and how hot the summer days get, you can create a walking regimen. In climates that are very hot, it's best to limit walking to early morning and evenings when temperatures are lower and tolerable. Frequent but short brisk walks are just as beneficial as longer walks. Both help to build stamina and strengthen the heart. So you don't need to take one long extended walk to meet your distance goals. You can split up the distance into a few short walks. If counting steps matters to you, then simply wear a pedometer. Again, depending on where you live, there are many ways to incorporate a walking habit into your daily routine. You may walk part of the way to work, or even all the way if it isn't that far. Walk on your lunch break. How about taking the stairs whenever possible, instead of using an elevator or escalator? Get the whole family involved and take a walk after your evening meal. Walking helps digestion. Find a walking buddy and set aside time together. Increase your walking time or distance with your dog or dogs. If you haven't been walking for some time, gradually build up time and distance. Even though walking is a gentle exercise, overdoing it should be avoided. Be sure to dress comfortably in loose-fitting clothes. Dress in light colors if the sun is already up or hasn't set yet. Watch out for traffic, depending on where you're walking. Carry a water bottle with you and sip regularly. Remember, even if you aren't sweating, you're still losing water. Dehydration causes great discomfort and may even be dangerous. Wear a visor, sun hat, or head covering you feel comfortable in. Wear shoes that are broken in and give good support. If you're hiking or going on uneven terrain, you may need sturdy boots instead of comfy shoes. Wear sunscreen everywhere your skin is exposed. You can get sunburned even when you cannot see the sun. Use walking sticks if you want to work out your arms. Use a walker if you are post-surgery or in recovery and have been sedentary for a stretch of time. Wear light ankle and wrist weights if you want extra conditioning or to build muscle mass. Make sure you're in good shape already before adding weights. Walking is one of the easiest ways to incorporate daily exercise into an active wellness lifestyle. Get everyone in the household involved and see how fast communications improve between generations. Well, I'd love to tell you a couple of stories that I have from walking. I really love walking. I love hiking. I live here in the Rocky Mountains, and there are some beautiful hikes, many of them. And I have a couple of stories that you might find interesting. You know, first of all, I'm going to say that I never go hiking without my power band on, my Kenko M Strides in my sneakers or boots, and my Pimax sport bottle. Those three things are absolutes. Now, sometimes I might take something extra like a MagFlex, my Kenkotherm back belt with my MagFlex inside it, just depending on, what's going on with my body. And that's one of the stories I'll tell you is I went hiking one day with a friend of mine who was a real professional Rocky Mountain guide. He was a mountain runner. He was the fittest person I've ever met, I think, except maybe Herb Rapp. And he said, let's go hike up Mount Chapin, which is about 11,000 feet up in the Rocky Mountain Park. And I was like, okay, fantastic. So we arranged for a day, and I was to get there very early in the morning, I think around 5:30, something like that. So we could hike it early, because we get a lot of thunderstorms in the Rocky Mountains in the afternoon, so you don't want to be out hiking then. And so what happened is I really hurt my back. I forget now how I did it. I think I was overdoing it in Pilates or something. And I couldn't really move well the day before. And I thought, oh no. And I didn't want to disappoint him. And I wanted to show him that I could do this hike, which I'd never done before, a hike that steep, that hard. And here I am with a professional. So I wore my MagFlex and my Kink-O-Tone back belt all night long. And then I wore it when I went the next morning. And the first thing when I got to his house, the first thing I said is, I've hurt my back. It's really pretty bad, but I really want to do this and see if I can do it. And do you know, we did that hike in record time. It was a fantastic hike, and the view from the top was amazing. And they even had a very special little cairn that you could sit in case of high winds. And they had this tube where you could open it up and say, you know, here I am, photograph with, you know, at this height and so forth, really showing that you'd done it. And, you know, when we came back down, there was a massive thunderstorm as we came down, actually. And I remember, well, it was right after we got in the car when it started. And he said, it's a good job we weren't out in this. And then he said, Julie, you did that in record time. I can't believe it. And you did it with a bad back. I was so pleased with his honoring of what I had done, because I really didn't think I could do it, but I didn't want to disappoint either of us. So I felt really proud, and I really thought, thank you, Niken, because honestly, without my power band, my sport bottle, my M-Strides, and my MagFlex and belt, it just wouldn't have happened. I could for sure say that. So that was one story. Another story, I went on my birthday with another friend of mine. I asked, would he do this really long hike up in the mountains that I didn't want to do alone, even though I do hike a lot alone, but this was like a 10 to 12 mile hike, and it was very high up. And he said, yeah, sure, I'll come with you. So we went up again, very early in the morning, we started. And this was a hike that covered, you know, at least 4 lakes, plus a huge 60-foot waterfall. It's a magnificent hike. It's really strenuous. It's considered a strenuous hike. And it starts at around 10,000 feet, a little under, and it goes up to around 11,000 feet. So it's high. Again, I took my power band, of course, always, my M-Strides and my sport bottle. On that one, I didn't take the MagFlex or the belt. And we did that hike, and it was magnificent, magnificent. And we had this agreement that he would bring the lunch and I would bring the water and everything. So we get to this one lake, and I said, I think it's about time we had some lunch. And he said, oh my gosh, Julie, I've forgotten the lunch. And I thought he was kidding. I was like, haha, very funny. We're out in the middle of nowhere. He wasn't kidding. He'd really forgotten our sandwiches for the lunch. Luckily, I had some nuts, I had some dried fruit, because that's the kind of thing you always take on those long, big hikes. And so we got through, but I wasn't sure, you know, there was no way but either going forward or turning back, and either way it was going to be a huge hike to continue. So I think it took us, I forget now, but many, many hours to do the whole thing. But it was absolutely outstanding. And again, by the time we got to the trailhead, I was almost falling down. My legs were so tired. But honestly, without my M-Strides, I was using the strides, not the steps. I don't think I could have done it. I just don't think so. So I was super proud. of that hike. It was a really big one. We had some fabulous photos that we took on that hike. The last little story I'm going to tell you is just one of the hikes that I did last autumn. I found a new hike and I did this one alone, and I was gone several hours on this hike. And at one point I was a little nervous because it was autumn, and I was like, that we do have a lot of bears up here and other animals. We have mountain lions. And I was a little bit nervous, like, oh gosh, what if I meet one of these fabulous, gorgeous wild animals, but here I am alone, undefended. I didn't have any bear spray. So I had a few moments of consternation, shall we say. Well, there I was, and I was like, oh well, I'm happily going along. It was a beautiful, beautiful day. And I turned a corner, and suddenly, not right in front of me, but just off to my left, but very close, was a female moose and a wild Mustang. I was so startled. But I just had the presence of mind to not move fast, to not turn away, to not turn my back on them. I put my hand on my heart. I looked down, did not look them in the eye, and said in my heart, I'm so sorry I disturbed you. This is really your terrain. I mean no harm. I'm a peace-loving person. So, and then I just very gently carried on with my hike on the trail. And they just stood there and watched me, and that was that, and I went on. Now, moose are very dangerous, as I'm sure you know, and if they do charge you, I mean, good luck with that, because you don't stand much of a chance, just like a bear or a mountain lion or anything. So I think what I want to say about it is that I really believe that wearing the power band and having my M Strides in my sneakers really helped me to stay calm and really present and not panic at all. And that was vitally important, so that no movement would disturb them, no panic, no turning around and running, nothing like that, but just staying really calm and in that peaceful place of love. And I really believe that having the products on my body always helps me with that. But in that situation, which was so shocking, really, but delightful, but shocking, more delightful later when I was at a safe distance, I think it really helped. So I hope you love walking, hiking. I'm sure you use your Nikken products all the time, every day, regardless. But when you go hiking or just walking around your neighborhood, these products really support us in having strength and balance and fortitude, so we can keep going, so we don't tire easily. Helps us with our posture. And of course, the Pine Mag Sport Bottle is a no-brainer. That is a wonderful product to take everywhere we go, so we have the very best water possible. So I hope you enjoyed my little stories here. I know you have lots of your own. Thank you so much for joining me for this podcast. And do remember, you can hear it on YouTube, on our channel, our Nikken channel. You can listen to it on Google Podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or whatever works for you. But on the YouTube one, you can comment, you can like it, you can share. Of course, you can share from any of them. So do enjoy these podcasts. I hope you do, and that you share them with others and show them the power and beauty, these immense benefits that we get from utilizing our amazing technologies on the go as well as in our home. Thank you, everyone, and I will see you next week. Have a super, super week. Bye for now.